Namaste, Jai Hind and India here on Free Hit, ladies and gentlemen. So, we as a nation have qualified into the semi-finals of the T20 World Cup in Australia 2022. Can we do a repeat of 2007 this time around? We gotta wait and watch. But so far on the form book, they're looking good. Let's ask the one and only Ayaz Memon here on Free Hit. Free Hit बिना Ayaz Memon के तो अधूरा है. तो आनंद एंड अयाज ऑन फ्रीड. अयाज भाई नमस्ते, खुशामदीद. मुझे बताइए कैसा लगा आज का मैच देख के.
देखिए मुझे लगता है कि साउथ बारिंग दैट ब्लिप अगेंस्ट साउथ अफ्रीका द इंडियन टीम हैज एक्चुअली स्टार्टेड गेटिंग बेटर एंड बेटर एवरी टाइम दे हैव टेकन द फील्ड. आज के दिन भी आपने देखा कि बहुत कन्विंसिंगली जिम्बाब्वे को हराया. नॉट दैट जिम्बाब्वे वाज अ वेरी टफ ओपोनेंट, बट दिस हैज बीन अ टूर्नामेंट ऑफ अपसेट्स एंड इतना प्रेशर नहीं था. प्रेशर पूरा जिम्बाब्वे पे था, प्लेइंग अ बिग टीम. इंडिया हैड क्वालिफाइड इवन if they had to lose, but why do you want to lose going into the semis? You want to win and you want to win handsomely. और वही the sense of purpose कि आप मैदान पे उतरते हैं तो किस तरह से आपको जीतना. ये नहीं कि हल्के में ले लिया, ठीक है जिम्बाब्वे they have crashed 39 for 5, now we can kind of stomp all over them. वैसा नहीं. I thought that they bowled, one star in the batting stood out, Rahul of course, but Suryakumar Yadav, he just seems to be boggling everybody's minds as to how he can do it repeatedly in the same fashion. And then I thought the bowling attack was very impressive because the fast bowlers as well as the spinners did well. Ashwin came and picked up some late wickets. Arshdeep, who's to my mind the best young player in the tournament, he's there. And then of course there's Shami and Bhuvneshwar. So this is looking a very good team, peaking at the right time, wins under their belt. Yes, you had a bad match against South Africa, put it aside, go into the semi-finals looking, being very confident in self-belief.
Today this time I want to talk to you about bowling first. Usually हम Indian batsmen के बारे में बात करते हैं, but it's the Indian bowling that is looking magical, and it starts with Bhuvneshwar Kumar because he has the record now of the bowler who's taken the most number of wickets in the very first over. The first over dismissal is very, very crucial, isn't it? Especially in a T20 format, for you to get right on the offensive, you need your bowler to go bang in and with the ability कि by first ball से वो wicket निकाल सकता है. And you think Bhuvneshwar Kumar has gotten over that shoulder injury, which was perhaps niggling him. He had a few niggles in his leg also. But you think he's emerged out of those injuries and he's really enjoying bowling in these Aussie conditions?
On the evidence of what we've seen, Anand, certainly. He just seems to be so sure of himself, of his line, the control. Ultimately, wicket में थोड़ी मदद भी है, so you have to have control. Otherwise, you can spray all over the place and forget about getting wickets. You might be, carted all over the ground. So एक तो control है, accuracy है, and what you mentioned is right. He's getting a wicket invariably in his first over. But look at what India is doing in the power play. They're picking up 2 or 3 wickets almost regularly in every match.
Yeah.
Even the match which they've lost against South Africa, they picked up some early wickets. So, I think that Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Arshdeep Singh has to me has been a revelation. And then of course Mohammad Shami, he's a very seasoned pro. He's just not giving anything away. Then there's Hardik Pandya, who I think is a very good foil to these bowlers. These Bhuvi and Arshdeep and Shami also to an extent rely a lot on swing. Hardik can also swing the ball a bit. He loves to hit the deck and get it to rise off, sometimes short of a length, sometimes really short, and so on. He's got a lot more variations in his bowling. So I think the pace attack is looking marvelous. There's been some talk about whether Yuzvendra Chahal को खिलाना चाहिए था. नहीं, अब तक तो नहीं खिलाया है. अब बहुत मुश्किल है कि उसको कैसे आप introduce करोगे. But Ashwin has held his own. It seemed first that he might become, क्या ये पैसेंजर ले लिया T20 में, is he fit enough, इसकी बैटिंग स्ट्रेंथ तो ठीक है, but does it deserve a place? But I think over match after match he's showed himself to be a very canny customer and somebody who can pick up crucial wickets.
And suddenly, one more thing is that T20 is a 10-ball game, and if you're going down the order, unless if your top order has clicked, then if it's coming down, then it's a 5-ball game, 10-ball game, and in that suddenly when you have an Akshar Patel and Ravichandran Ashwin in your team lineup, you look like India's batting deep. अब उनमें से किसी एक को मैं निकाल दूं और वहां पे युजवेंद्र चहल को डाल दूं तो फिर सडनली ऐसा लगता है यार एक बैट्समैन कम है.
हाँ बिल्कुल. और ये जैसा हमने टूर्नामेंट देखा है कि यहाँ पर काफ़ी जो है पावर प्ले में विकेट्स गिरती है। ये अच्छी बात है कि इंडिया की विकेट्स इतनी नहीं गिरी है। विराट हैज़ बीन इन द फॉर्म ऑफ हिज लाइफ, सो डू सूर्य कुमार यादव, राहुल, Rohit has got the starts, not got the big scores, and that is something that he'll probably brood or mull over the next couple of days. कि मुझे जाके एक substantial contribution करना है, because that's what you expect from Rohit. But if you don't have these guys at 7, 8, and 9, or wherever they are posted in the order at that point, Ashwin and Akshar, then you might feel कि अगर 3-4 विकेट जल्दी गई तो then India फंस सकती है मैच. But these guys give you that little sense of confidence कि एक मेन बैट्समैन इनके साथ टिक गया, so you will reach a healthy score or be able to chase down a total.
And even a Mohammad Shami can tong 2 or 3 sixes. तो 4 बॉल खेलेगा, उसमें 2 छक्के जड़ गए तो भी 12 रन तो उससे आ सकते हैं. But you don't expect that from Yuzvendra Chahal. I'm not saying that we expect it, but in T20 you need somebody who can get you some runs. Like Ravichandran Ashwin. Yeah, that calm. I'll always remember that as one of my top 5 moments of this T20 World Cup. That वो leg side पे ball छोड़ी ना उसने wide.
Yeah, amazing, unforgettable, unforgettable.
Yeah, absolutely unforgettable. Now let's come back to the batting and this guy Suryakumar Yadav. सर ये कितना डिफिकल्ट है, अगर किसी ने भी क्रिकेट खेली, हमारे जो भी इसको देख रहे हैं, गली क्रिकेट भी खेली है, कि बार नीचे झुक के ऐसे घुमा के बॉल पीछे उठाना, इट्स नॉट इजी. और वो भी when it is the bowler is coming hard at you, his job is to only bowl full fast and 2 feet outside or 3 stumps outside the off stump. That's what he is doing, and flirting with that wide line, and then udhar first instinct of every batsman is to go over off. बट ये बंदा इधर झुक के उसको घुमा के और पूरा इधर, कितना रिस्क वर्क, कितना आपका कॉन्फिडेंस भी चाहिए टू बी एबल टू एग्जीक्यूट समथिंग लाइक दैट.
Absolutely, Anand. I think he's got flubber in his wrist because कहाँ से वो गेंद को कैसे घुमा कर मारता है. From 5th or 6th stump he's hitting it to fine leg or square leg or turning, playing it inside out and hitting it past cover point or towards third man. I mean, he's toying with the bowling. It's not easy in a World Cup. Sometimes you have, it's a pressure to a high pressure tournament. Sometimes the match has reached a situation where you've lost a couple of quick wickets. अब शुरू में ऐसे ही हो रहा था कि राहुल और रोहित दोनों नहीं चल रहे थे. So it was only Virat who was, and Suryakumar Yadav who were, kind of giving the impetus. But he's doing it irrespective of the situation now. He's doing it because he's just so confident. He's not cocky. I think if you can say he's cocky if he does it 2 matches out of 5, 3 में वो विकेट टिक के जाता है. But यहाँ पर he's doing it 8 matches out of 10. So it's a question of self-belief, ability. He's a very creative guy. I think also he loves to win the mental joust with the bowlers, the mental battle. कि तुम वहीं डालोगे जहाँ मैं चाहूँगा. He's psyching the bowlers, and you get flummoxed if you're a bowler कि तुम कहाँ डालोगे इसको, ऐसे गेंद बैट्समैन को आप, where do you bowl to him? Because he's hitting you from anywhere to anywhere. He's incredible the way he's been batting.
और वो ये भी कर रहा है ना कि तू जिधर डालेगा मैं तेरे को उधर मारूंगा. And wherever you think I cannot hit you, I will hit you there also. So he is doing that. But the other thing that he is doing is he is showing to the bowler कि तू मुझे ऑफ पे देगा, मैं तेरे को ऑफ पे भी पॉइंट पे कवर पे उठा के मार सकता हूँ. And then it gives it's a problem for the captain कि फील्ड कैसे सेट करूँ, because फील्ड limitations come into play. कि अगर आपने पे भाई ऑफ साइड में डीप पे रखा है तो फिर आपको ऑन साइड में अंदर बुलाना पड़ेगा. तो अगर आपने ऑन साइड में जैसे अंदर बुलाया, ये बाहर जाके फिर उठाता है ऑन साइड पे, क्यों मालूम है पीछे फील्ड खाली है.
Oh, absolutely. I think his reading of the match situation is also terrific, or at least the reading of the field कि कहाँ मौका है runs का. And sometimes it's a question of clearing the field, which he seems to do with ease. He's not in that sense a power hitter. He's not Marcus Stoinis. He's not even Hardik Pandya. He's got a lot of wrist and a great sense of timing. And he's not even Rohit Sharma. Rohit can really tonk the ball hard. But Suryakumar Yadav has just been able to spot even the minor lapses in length and line. And the minute, आप 2-4 ऐसे stroke मार दो, तो bowler is at your mercy. क्योंकि उसको फिर पता नहीं कहाँ डालना है. That is what he is doing very successfully, and match after match after match. I think he's an extraordinary cricketer in this format.
वो यानी कि फील्ड पे पिच पे क्रिकेट खेल रहा है, लेकिन बॉलर के दिमाग के अंदर कबड्डी कुश्ती चल रही है. And that's where you have the guy pinned on the mat in his head. That means you won that game. So, but this mental joust is something which many would play. Now let's build up and let's look at what's up ahead. Semifinal 1 is Pakistan versus New Zealand. Semifinal 2 is India versus England. Pakistan and New Zealand play at the Sydney Cricket Ground. India and England will play each other at the Adelaide Oval. But had you penciled South Africa there, और फिर उसको इरेज करके फिर पाकिस्तान लिखना पड़ा? How did that
बिल्कुल,
happen?
बिल्कुल. I mean, South Africa on the evidence of the way they played against India, chasing down a tough target in those situations. Yes, close match and all that, but India is a terrific team and bowling बहुत जबरदस्त India की. To win that match from that difficult situation, I thought कि ये certainly they are in the semis. उसके आगे तो it's a one match, anything can happen in a knockout. But it was shocking to me. I mean, एक तो जल्दी उठना पड़ा आज सवेरे देखने के लिए, and to see to see to see them, first of all,
टीवी तो नहीं तोड़ा ना आपने?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, to see them conceding so many runs at the death and then unable to chase down, it was not an easy target because what has happened, as we've seen in these matches, okay, leave aside India Zimbabwe where we got 180 something, 186 or 184. Match scores have been coming down because wear and tear on the pitch is happening. Spinners का थोड़ा role है. 155, 160, 165 are becoming tough totals to chase. It's not easy. But they seem to have the batting, the batsmen in the top 5, 6 to chase against a Netherlands team, which frankly looked like, when the tournament started, a bunch of, happy-go-lucky, earnest club cricketers, so to speak. Taking nothing away from their effort. But, they are not one of the they are not even a full member of the ICC. To come and play like this, I thought, one is that it's a reminder that the gaps between all teams have narrowed a lot. Remember, Zimbabwe beat Pakistan. Ireland beat England. And Afghanistan almost beat Australia. तो ये नहीं है कि बहुत ज़्यादा अंतर है. इनफैक्ट द गैप हैज नैरोड एंड T20 तो वैसे भी इट्स वेरी फिकल, the format itself is very fickle. So it was always going to be a little bit of a, you haven't won the match till you won it, and the fact is that they didn't win it. They actually lost it quite badly. They must be aghast. I don't know whether they've taken the flight back home or not, but I'm sure they'll be moping even now. The way they played, I think it was, and ये क्या होता है, एक stereotype जो बना हुआ है, it gets even more further accentuated कि ये तो chokers है. अब अगली बार ये जहाँ पर जाके खेलेंगे, the memories of this abject surrender to Netherlands will play on their mind. They'll get over it in a while, but every ICC tournament, if you come and almost reach or virtually there to reach the semis and you flop, then there is something wrong in the mental makeup. I think there is something wrong in the ethos of the South African dressing room, which continues from team to team over years.
But yeah, AB de Villiers used to be very, very frustrated with this Joker's tag. He wanted through his playing career to shed it, and they came close time and again, and then they just let it go. And this time around, it was there in their grasp. It was like वो कहते हैं ना, आपकी हार के जीतने वाले को बाजीगर बोलते हैं, और जो जीत के हार जाए उसको क्या बोलते हैं? ये तो
चोकर.
But
Anand, the thing is, this last match, I can understand if they stumble, if it was against, say, India or Pakistan, the two best teams in this group. You lose to arguably the weakest team. Kacha limbu of this group, आप उनसे हार जाते हैं. So then there is, I mean, you can't look at it kindly, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I totally agree. But, heart goes out to that side because they are a talented bunch. But it would have been good to see them in the mix because you would have had then top teams. But that also means that a Pakistan gets it. Now, Pakistan versus New Zealand at the SCG, would you believe that going into the match, New Zealand have the edge on paper and also on form? Or would you still go back to say it all depends on which Pakistan turns out for the match?
Yeah, that's also a stereotype, but it's a very plausible stereotype because it happens. Suddenly you'll find that they come up, and when they played against South Africa in this tournament, suddenly it was a different team. They brought the net run rate up and they beat them handsomely, and then they just seem to get a wing under their whatever it is. They just So I think that Pakistan is always a dangerous team. Which team will turn up, we don't know. But some things suggest that they are, kind of gathering their, the regrouping has been very good. One is that Shaheen Shah Afridi picked up 4 wickets in the match against Bangladesh today and bowled quite impressively. And I think more importantly, see, the guys are really struggling at the top. Babar Azam has been in woeful form. उसका बल्ला नहीं चल रहा है, उसका पैर नहीं चल रहा है. He's batting as if he's a, not even a club cricketer. He's just so terribly out of sorts. Mohammad Rizwan has been marginally better, but that's not saying much. So these two guys were hurting this team bad in their earlier matches. Otherwise, they could have possibly qualified earlier. I mean, Zimbabwe se bhi haar gaye.
Correct.
What has happened is now they've got Haris who's come in, who's been, he's been using the power hitting very effectively. They've got Iftikhar who's come in and done extremely well. And they've got Shadab Khan who's proving out to be a very fine all-rounder. Not only is he picking up wickets with the bowling as a leg spinner, but he's also making very valuable runs. So I think that's kind of suggesting that पहले पाकिस्तान अगर आप ये पूरे टूर्नामेंट में देख ले, they were always 30 for 3 or 40 for 4 and then struggling to reach anywhere. Now it seems that they are in a better situation. I mean, but I will say this, on a slow pitch, even Bangladesh guys, kind of put the brakes on their progress. Had there been, with a little luck, with an early wicket, one catch was put down in the first over, it could have been a far closer game. So New Zealand, that way, look a far more balanced team. Their top order working. Williamson coming back into form has been a big thing because you don't want the captain to be struggling. That's happening with Pakistan. Babar ke saath. And they've got an array of fine bowlers. They've got Trent Bolt, Tim Southee, Ferguson. Then they've got two spinners.
That's why I said Sydney cricket ground, because the way the Sydney pitches have behaved in this tournament, will that make a difference?
It'll make a difference. It'll make a difference because what is happening is, as we've seen in the matches, how teams bat or bowl from the middle overs onwards is deciding the outcome of the matches.
Correct.
शुरू के wickets गिर गए because there's life, there's spice in the pitches. Pitches are spicy. एक दो wicket जा रहे हैं power play में. उसके बाद आप middle overs में कैसे खेलते हैं? I mean, look at the classic innings that Virat Kohli played. It was built from a situation, near hopeless situation. The middle overs, the way he and Pandya played, and then you are there for the final assault. So, if how you bowl, and today we saw for Pakistan, Shaheen Shah Afridi coming in bowling quite superbly in the second spell when he got towards the end. So I think that it's very important that, and this is where I think New Zealand seem to be a terrific team. Glenn Phillip has been in the form of his life. They've got Daryl Mitchell, they've got Jimmy Neesham who can blast, give it the big blast, and they've got a very fine bowling attack. So it's going to be a tough match. I mean, Pakistan. You ask me it depends on which Pakistan will come up. Whichever Pakistan comes up, if they don't bring their A game to the park, then I'm afraid that unki bhi ticket kat jayegi.
Somewhere I just get the feeling that New Zealand go into the match with a bit of an edge.
Yes.
And it's going to take more than just a miracle or a good day for Pakistan to be able to win this. It's not going to be that easy. But then will that have a bearing on what happens at the Adelaide Oval? Now, if you look at India and England at the Adelaide Oval, both sides perhaps will talking up their chances.
Yes.
How do you see that matchup? Because on paper, both teams have amazing bowlers. Their bowling is doing well. They have some trouble with the batting, but then you got match winners. Every single player on each side is a match winner, is a potential match winner there. Josh Butler, Alex Hale, and here you have Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, and even in the middle order they have got some heft. India seems to be slightly a little better in their middle and lower middle, but overall.
Yeah. So I think one thing in the batting, I don't know if David Malan is fit or not. Last match he walked off the field. But they have a lot of very long batting lineup. Even somebody like Sam Curran comes in at 8, and he can hit the ball long. He can bowl very well. They've got Moeen Ali who can obviously bat a lot, anywhere in the order. So he's there. Chris Wokes can bat. He's got. So they've got a lot of options in their batting. But what's happened in Adelaide, if you've seen some of the matches, especially the last few matches, Australia struggled against Afghanistan at Adelaide, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And even I think England, it took them a while to get past in the last match that they played. But for Ben Stokes, it could have been a hardship or maybe a ouster for England. So England have been, in my opinion, the best team in terms of balance, combination, quality of players, T20 specialists, etc., etc. But it's not enough to say that will see them through. they've also been through a lot of struggle in this tournament. And unless they set some things right, sometimes what happens is if you bat very deep, so ऊपर वाले सोचते हैं I can, the little self-indulgence which comes in. And then
Correct.
suddenly, ये T20 format ऐसा है आनंद, एक ओवर में 2 विकेट चले गए, then you don't know which way to turn because the whole momentum has gone. So you have to be very, very in the moment, as they say. Presence of mind is very important. Australia, 2 matches in a row, they couldn't boost their net run rate because their tactics were all wrong.
Wrong.
They just kept it too long against Afghanistan, too late. और बाद में आप कितना भी मारने जाएंगे, वो विकेट्स
वो
गिरती
नहीं,
रहेगी.
वो
नहीं
गिरती
होता है.
रहेगी, और फिर कई बार ऐसा होता है, you can't force the matter, you
You
can't
can't force.
force
And
it.
in fact, Rashid Khan almost won it with the bat for Afghanistan.
Yeah,
So the
absolutely.
so the
Oh,
bowlers
they
got
were
dejected.
magical that day. They were magical that day. Afghanistan were on a different level, and I was shocked that they lost that game. मुझे तो लगा लेके जाएंगे जिस तरह से वो खेल रहे थे. But you feel it's going to be an India-Pakistan final, or do you believe that it could be India-New Zealand?
I
I'm not
mean,
even
look,
giving England a chance.
no, I think in the semi-final, the 4 best teams are there. I mean, barring Australia, we all thought, all of us, I mean, even you, I think maybe that
Yeah.
one of the first early shows, we said from this group, Australia, England, from the other group, Pakistan, India. Then as the group, matches started and किसी का form हल्का हुआ, कुछ better हुआ, then we kind of veered around. We said, New Zealand is getting better and better, so maybe they will make it. And
Yeah.
Pakistan का तो, just that Netherlands beating South
South
Africa,
Africa.
just it is the penny which dropped, just turned things around
Correct.
for them. Otherwise, they would have finished. They would have finished behind India, even if they had, won against Bangladesh. They would have finished behind India massively on the net run rate, and South Africa and India would have gone through. So, ये matches ऐसे हैं, कुछ भी हो सकता है, but I think that I have
कभी
a hunch.
99 में भी कुछ ऐसे ही हुआ था ना, कि एक टीम बाहर निकल गई, इसलिए पाकिस्तान वापस अंदर आया था. ऐसा हुआ था क्या?
हाँ, ऐसा हुआ था. 92 में हुआ था.
92 में,
when they won the
92
World
में
Cup,
हुआ.
that was the ODI World Cup. One match was rained off. They got shared points. Otherwise, and they were in a miserable state. I think they were 75 or 75 for 6 or 5 or something, and they recovered from there, won that match, and turned things around. So obviously, all Pakistan supporters are talking about that World Cup and saying, "Dekha, cornered Tigers, how we came back and won." It's possible, but it's not going to be easy. And I think if you ask me, India-Pakistan final, मुझे लगता है, my hunch is it's fated. ये India-Pakistan final.
ये okay रहेगा.
हाँ, okay रहेगा. It looks like it's fated. So many things are happening which suggest,
Correct.
you in one of the earlier shows which you did for the channel with Maninder, you were asking about how history and sometimes
those similarities are very, very unique. It's amazing that Praveen Kumar was ruled out because of injury ahead of 2011. Here, Jasprit Bumrah is ruled out. उधर हमने उस वक्त इससे पाकिस्तान से हार का बदला चुकाया. अभी हमने बांग्लादेश से हार का बदला चुकाया because we beat Bangladesh 2021 में we lost to Bangladesh. उधर हम पाकिस्तान से हारे, हमने पाकिस्तान को हराया. So those parallels came through. And also South Africa beat us by 2 balls to spare in 2011. They beat us by 2 balls to spare in 2022. So a lot of similarities that stand out. But that is all for fans and for coincidences. If it is going to be an India-Pakistan final, then it will be at the MCG. But
it's a mouth-watering prospect. Can you imagine? The cricket world will explode if India and Pakistan are going to meet next Sunday at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. As it is, पहला match आप देखें, it was, forget about being a sellout. The intensity amongst fans, India-Pakistan तो है ही in the subcontinent. But all over the cricket world, the eyes were riveted on that match. Because it's just such a big game. It's become the biggest game in the sport.
And Melbourne has such a huge
आज Zimbabwe के खिलाफ there were 85,000 people. I mean, India is not just the mecca of cricket, but also the El Dorado. फैन फॉलोइंग भी इधर ही है, पैसा भी इधर ही है.
करेक्ट. और यही होगा, क्योंकि फिर वहां पे everybody will make a beeline from Sydney downwards all along the coast. Everybody will drive to MCG because Indian fans, Pakistani fans, पूरा diaspora उधर पहुंच जाएगा. So it is going to be a sellout anyway. So Melbourne is sold out because everybody believes India is there. But whether or not Pakistan will be there, that's a big question. We are all confident that India will beat England. Semi-final 1 and semi-final 2 Will the result of semi-final one? My final question. We'll wind up and then we'll catch up ahead of the semi-final, or maybe after semi-final one, and we'll build up to semi-final two here on free hit. But what I want to know: will the result have a bearing, Ayaz bhai? What
It'll
happens at SCG? Will it weigh on the minds of both England and, more importantly, India on the 10th?
Yes, I think they will take lessons or they will watch this match very intently because one of those two teams is going to be their opponent in the final. I mean, they have to get past their own semi-final. But जो भी टीम जीतेगी और किस तरह से वो खेली है, किस तरह से जीती है, क्या वजह से जीती है, क्या गलतियां हुई दूसरी टीम से जिसका कैपिटलाइज किया, एक्सप्लॉइट किया उन्हें. I mean, today the game has become very, very, data driven, very, there are instant learnings that have to be taken place.
Correct.
They are, put in, and players are hardwired to receive such information and build on it. Coaches work on it. Of course,
Right.
on the day you have to play by instinct also and by experience and by confidence. You can't enter the field with, on tenterhooks. So, आप कितना भी data ले ले, then it won't make a difference if you're nervous and edgy. But there is
Now-
something to be learned from both the teams in the first semi-final.
Now, Sydney में अगर बारिश हुई तो रिजर्व डे है. So will both semi-finals be played on the same day? That is also possible.
Yes, it's possible.
Maybe possible.
It's possible.
Yes.
It's possible. It may make a difference in the timing of the matches.
Correct.
Because so you might still, the lessons may still be there relevant because one match 9:30 Indian Standard Time in the morning, the other may start at 1:30. Because you can't have two matches simultaneously, तो होगा नहीं because they're on different days. But if it's on the same day, it won't be simultaneous because there's broadcast issues, there's marketing of the matches, there's two semi-finals. So they'll have to be played obviously at different venues but different timings also. So to allow the telecast of both matches. And then of course there's the final. उसका भी एक reserve day है.
उसका तो रिजर्व डे रेन डे है, लेकिन ये सेमीफाइनल अगर दोनों एक ही दिन पे हो गए तो फिर क्या होएगा, तब कितना मजा आएगा. बिकॉज एंड ऑफ कोर्स दैट विल ब्रिंग द इंटेंसिटी. और बारिश हो गई तो फिर क्या होगा, दैट इज आल्सो बिग choice because that one factor of weather is there. What
Yes.
happens if it rains? And we'll have to
Yes.
look at the weather forecast. So far जब जब बोला है बारिश नहीं होगी, बारिश हुई है. जब जब बोला है बारिश होगी, तब तक बारिश नहीं हुई है.
No, बिल्कुल. And the weather has played a very big role in the way the tournament has panned out.
Correct. Yes.
दो matches wash out हो गई, sharing of points. South Africa shared a point against Zimbabwe,
Yeah.
and that's come to hurt them.
महंगा पड़ गया.
England and Ireland. England finally made it, but mar ke, they went in. But England and Australia lost a point. England can say we also lost a point, but Australia had a chance to get ahead on the table and make it to the semis. वो नहीं हुआ. So rain, you are absolutely right. It's a very crucial element in how this World Cup has panned out.
Absolutely. And one of the crucial elements of this T20 World Cup is on Cricket Next, and that's Free Hit with me and Ayaz. Anand and Ayaz. Wonderful speaking with you and wonderful talking cricket with you, Ayaz bhai. Thank you very much. वो मुझे धीरे धीरे ट्रिम होकर
बिल्कुल. आप देखें अब सेमीफाइनल तक.
अब स्ट्रेट अवे आप धीरे धीरे यहाँ से एज
बिल्कुल.
ऐसे घूम जाएंगे. We look forward to that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you.